he envisioned studying twins that had been separated at birth, as if raised in different families with different social and economic backgrounds, would this affect the intelligence of each sibling?
How is that any different than women who have children with multiple different men?
Sorry, we're not interested. Have a great day.
Oh, yes, you are interested.
Welcome back to the channel. Not sure if most of these modern women out here know it, but these are the talking points of eugenicists.
First, they want to define who in their society is valuable, to pick out the good stock and encourage them to reproduce.
If you're a single woman and you're trying to date, you are looking for probably these qualities in a man.
In the U.S., 14.5% of all men are 6 feet or over.
Damn. Shit. So good luck.
Tough there already. Tough. Just on the height alone, that's tough. 17% of American men make over $100,000. Okay, at 6 inches, you're in the top 15th percentile.
Damn.
So you're looking for somebody who's in the top 15% of dick size, top 17% of annual salary, and top 14% of height.
Why do I feel like those are so low? Because I feel like there's so many out there.
No, dude.
You don't think?
No.
Second, they want to define the bad stock, those who are seen as a burden on society, and discourage them from reproducing.
And care about your personality. I am a human being, and I want to look at someone who's equally as attractive as me. Just like you like to look at me, I want to be able to look back at you the same way you feel about me. So if that's not happening, and I really want you to sit with yourself in the mirror. If you have not had the same level of self-care or just the same level of attraction, I'm not interested, and there's no way you're going to persuade me into believing that you are worth it.
You want someone that looks better than you, that is smarter than you, that maybe has more of a social life than you do, has a really, really good job, is more outgoing than you. Like, you're genuinely probably just looking for a partner that has better qualities than you do. No woman wants to date down. Not to be an absolute bitch of a person, but when you're a woman who has all her shit together, like when you have a good group of friends, you have a successful career, you pay your own bills, you're close with your family, you have a good social life, like where do you go from there? There's not many good options.
When it comes to saying, well, he has to have this, this, and this, they're basically saying everybody outside of those things are useless to them, to society in general.
Third, they want to keep the races from intermarrying. And we'll see the results of these efforts today. First, in compulsory sterilization laws, both the United States and Nazi Germany imposed in the first half of the 20th century.
Anti-miscegenation laws were racist laws enacted by American states to prohibit interracial marriage and interracial sex. Such laws date far back in American history, but in the 20th century, anti-miscegenation as a policy was also adopted by eugenicists who believed that race mixing would lead to the racial deterioration of the white race. In 1900, sociologist and eugenicist Edward Ross used the term race suicide to disapprove of mixed-race relationships, as did President Theodore Roosevelt in 1902.
Now, what set of women are saying their men should not be involved with any other race of women? What race of women are demanding that their men only deal with them?
Do y'all date white women? Yeah, let's talk about it. Oh my God.
Bro, please.
Please don't lie. Do y'all date white women?
Oh, I've dated one white woman.
Why?
Yeah, I have.
Why? What? You can't like white girls?
Why
I'm asking why. What was the part? Why?
I liked her.
Why? What did you like about them?
We connected on a personal level. And
about what?
About a lot of things. Like
about what?
Like
black women like to interrogate like white
what
women.
What she is saying? I'm asking a question. Like,
let me talk. Like, what y'all eat? How y'all shower?
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like
not what y'all eat, because I know that food ain't seasoned.
Okay.
If I'm walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman, there's a weakness in him.
Ooh.
Something in him is weak.
When I find out a black man has a white wife or a white girlfriend, my entire perspective about them changes. And at the top of the list, I can't take them seriously because they don't take their life seriously.
Am I crazy for saying I will not date a black man that dates white women? And I'm not saying like you can have never dated a white woman. I'm just saying if you continuously date white women more than you date black women, I don't want to date you.
Feel about interracial.
White women, if they date a black man, dead wrong.
I don't like to use the word hurt because I feel that puts too much weight on it. Personally, I am not that sad or affected when I see a black man with a woman of another race, unless he's very fine. And she is not what I really think is, a good match. But I do question a lot of their choices.
It targeted confirmed criminals, idiots, imbeciles, housed in state institutions. Policies such as eugenic sterilization or the establishment of state institutions to separate undesirable individuals from the public are examples of what sociologists call oppressive othering.
No matter what the rules are, they want to adjust it to their liking. The eugenicists say certain quality of mental deficiency or criminality are supposed to be X'd out of the population. Those who are always talking about, well, it's not fair, but what about, or it depends. The ones who always try to find the wiggle room to adjust a set of rules, but make it theirs. Oh, we believe in this, but we're going to X this out. We're going to adjust this. And, well, this is just not fair. We gotta be fair to all. Who else? Women, to fit their desires. They are eugenicists at their core.
Laughlin's model sterilization law targeted a heterogeneous group of people, those with mental illnesses, developmental disabilities, and physical disabilities. It included even the homeless, the poor, and alcoholics. Actually sterilized were two main groups: people with developmental or intellectual disabilities and people with psychiatric illnesses. When one compares Laughlin's model law to the Nazi sterilization law about a decade later, one finds an almost one-to-one correspondence between them in terms of the groups they targeted. This is indicated by the corresponding numbers on the left and on the right. This was no coincidence. The Nazis paid close attention to the US as the world leader in eugenic sterilizations before 1933.
Women have deliberately ignored the things that the true eugenicists said we have to get out of the population. Think about how many women who have fell in love and would willingly give it up to those who are in jail.
Women are more likely to have those educational skills. You have to pass background checks. You can't have a criminal record. And again, that plays in women's favor.
Between 2001 and 2007, the number of female corrections officers in male facilities has jumped from 24% to 40%. Guarding facilities overcrowded with inmates. In fact, government reports indicate that more than half of all sexual misconduct cases are committed by female workers.
Not really surprised that I got suspended for what I did, but I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I did something at the jail that I should have known as being professional, but I had happened to fall for an inmate. So yeah, he would have his shirt off.
You told me he was jerking off? Said that she was sending him nudes?
I wasn't sending him nudes. What do you mean? No, I wasn't sending him nudes.
Was he jerking off?
I seen it. Yeah, I seen it.
A 29-year-old prison guard charged with having a series of sexual encounters with an inmate, and not just any inmate, the convicted killer of 2 New York City cops. Ron L. Wilson was arrested in 2003 for murdering 2 New York City detectives in cold blood on Staten Island. In one of her phone calls, Nancy Gonzalez seemed to struggle with her conscience. How am I going to explain this to this little boy? Mommy was in the military. Mommy was a CO. Mommy got wrapped up with a person who took lives. So how do you explain that? End quote.
A prisoner, it is a class 2 felony.
The sheriff's office says while working as a nurse in the 4th Avenue jail, LaTanya Hickbottom met Ramon Cummings and a seedy affair unfolded.
The inmate that she had a romance with at least had naked photos of the nurse.
Deputies found them searching Cummings' cell. Hickbottom had been passing the pics through another inmate when he'd come for medical help.
That ended with Ms. Jenkins getting locked up, charged with improper sexual contact, reckless conduct, cruelty to inmate, giving inmate an improper item in violation of oath of office. A retired sheriff supervisor and law enforcement instructor gave his reaction to the video.
But Ms. Granberry chose to go a different route.
On November 13, 2024, jail investigators uncovered evidence that showed Granberry had an inappropriate relationship with inmate Williams. According to investigators, Granberry knew he had a cell phone while he was detained and would video chat Williams when she was off work.
13 sex sessions that we know of.
Earlier this year in Oregon, 2 prison workers, Brett Robinson and Jill Curry, admitted to sneaking an inmate out for sex. Both women now on the other side of prison bars. It's behavior that Jansen says is rampant.
Did you ever have a female guard hit on you?
No, I never had a female guard hit on me. I had a female nurse hit on me.
With inmates.
In 2013, a Baltimore inmate and notorious gang leader impregnated 4 prison guards, the women helping him run a drug ring inside the prison wall.
So he's making it up?
I think he is.
So she wasn't having an affair with an inmate? No. But federal officials say otherwise, that the officer attended Carol's bail hearing in federal court in October, and just 2 weeks ago, she bailed the Latin King out of jail. 12 News obtained this court receipt showing she posted $5,000 in cash using her maiden name and her father's Milwaukee address. No one answered the door at the Franklin home Bartashevich shares with her husband and kids. Her father says he knew nothing about her paying Carol's bail, but he still defends his daughter.
And anybody at the sheriff's department would tell you she's one of the greatest ones there. If they had 5 of her, the jail would probably run better.
They're eugenicists, but they want to adjust it to their liking. They want to get rid of, oh, he's a short king. We don't want him. He makes less than $2 million. We need to get rid of him. Oh, well, if I can't feel him in my upper intestines, they want to get rid of them. But if they're a criminal, but they look good, they don't mind them being a part of society. They want to cull the herd of just the aesthetics, but they don't care about the mentality. How many women have gotten pregnant by homeless men?
Or whatever. Then the next day, I chilled with them. And then, when I chilled with them, I chilled with them, and then I went downstairs, and then when I went downstairs, yeah, he was living in Kayla's house.
Oh, shit.
I didn't know he was homeless. He was living in Kayla's house.
Because I'm like, wait a minute. I'm listening. I'm like, it sounds...
Kayla was financing his friend, but his friend was financing you.
No, so there was a few friends in her crib. It wasn't just him.
Okay, so you let him stay, right?
Yes,
because you wanted him to stay.
I'm very good-hearted. No, I'm not gonna lie. It could have been anybody. Like if you I don't know.
Okay,
it's just I'm not the type of person to be like.
Gotcha.
You just move this shit down here.
Keep going.
Like, all right, cool.
Right.
I was just going with the flow at the time. And at the time, we were supposed to move to Texas. So I wasn't planning on staying up here for long. So it wasn't like a long-term thing. So I wasn't, So
cool. You moved in.
And he moved in. And then I didn't touch him till like a month later because I met him a week before my birthday. He didn't move until like a week after my birthday. And then I didn't really touch him till like July 11th, because that's when I got pregnant. First time.
Wait, so her was the first time? You was the first time?
I got pregnant on her first.
Serial deadbeat dads. Known alcoholics. How many women have gotten pregnant by known drug abusers? Even the feeble-minded, they don't care. As long as they got a certain look about them, certain size, mass, a certain height, even muscular, they don't care. Could be dumb as dirt, but as long as they fit that aesthetic, they're willing to lay down with them and reproduce with them.
Who are the victims of Nazi sterilization policy? The vast majority of sterilized Germans suffered from mental rather than physical disabilities or disorders. Nowhere was this more true than in the case of hereditary feeble-mindedness, whose ambiguous diagnosis permitted physicians and psychiatrists to include not only those diagnosed with an actual intellectual disability, but also the socially aberrant, or those whom Nazi medical authorities deemed socially aberrant. vagrants, prostitutes, mothers of illegitimate children, especially if they were on welfare, petty criminals, juvenile delinquents, and in large numbers relative to the German population, Roma and Sinti, so-called gypsies.
So what is considered a crime during Nazi Germany is fought for tooth and nail in the Roe v. Wade case. Over there, during that time, it was about sterilization. Certain people, based on appearance, heritage, bloodline. But now we have in states fighting for the same thing, except it's before they're born. The only difference is in Nazi Germany, it was once they were there to eradicate them. But here and now we have them eradicating them in the womb before they are even born.
Quote, "It is better for all the world if instead of waiting to execute degenerate offspring for crime or to let them starve for their imbecility, society can prevent those who are manifestly unfit from continuing their kind. 3 generations of imbeciles are enough." End of quote.
When they decide to terminate pregnancies en masse like we do in this country, are they admitting that they are degenerates, that they are the second generation of imbeciles, and they are doing their duty for the country by making sure a third generation of imbeciles aren't born to this country? Let me get off my soapbox. Back to the video. Ladies and gentlemen, here is their God. Here is the man whose feet they worship at based on their desires and their willingness to delete babies, their willingness to go out of their way to make sure that, hey, this person does not get an opportunity to have a family through reproduction.
Many scientists looked to develop Darwin's ideas. One such person was one of his own cousins, Francis Galton. Galton was fascinated by his cousin's work and sought out to research variation in human development. He started to look at different aspects of human variation, covering anything from mental ability to height and from facial images to fingerprint patterns. Next, Galton looked into finding out if his theory of nature over nurture was true, and to do so, he envisioned studying twins that had been separated at birth, as if raised in different families with different social and economic backgrounds. Would this affect the intelligence of each sibling?
How is that any different than women who have children with multiple different men? Especially in situations where the man wants to be a part of the child's life. And you can tell when he has children through marriage with another woman and the child that has a life different under his household with 2 parents is different than a child he had with another woman who refused to let him be a part of that child's life, and she's doing it by herself. How's that any different than what these experiments were conducted?
Several eugenic societies would back their definitions from the field, although forced sterilizations would continue into the 1960s, with it peaking in the 1950s. Eugenicists pushed more towards federal-funded birth control measures after the invention of the pill for their deemed undesirable groups, such as ethnic minorities and the poor. But the field couldn't shake off its links to the Nazis, and as such, many societies hemorrhaged members. In 1959, a special meeting of Britain's Eugenics Society discussed ways to stop losses in membership, including the suggestion that the society should pursue eugenic ends by less obvious means.
They may have hemorrhaged members back in 1959, I want to say, but they seem to have a large membership, non-paying membership, non-paper publishing membership than they are aware of. Or maybe they are aware of, I don't know.